she had something on here where, how do you define your chapter of joy? Tag us and let us know. Why do people have to tag you and let you know about how they find their joy? Why don't you just let them comment on your Instagram post? I think it's about damn time that this woman opened up her comment section on her Instagram page. And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, man, that's what happens. That's what happens when the devil himself decides to throw a party, a debaucherous, half-naked party inside God's house. God ain't gonna have it. He's gonna turn on the waterworks and he's gonna rain on your little evil parade. So that really did bring a little smile to my face, gotta say. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Jennifer. I am so happy to have you here because I really need a friend yet again. There's so much going on out in the world of celebrity culture. It's crazy. It's like the avalanche of annoying stupidity and craziness just coming at you. You better get the hell out of the way because these people are obnoxious. They live their lives on a completely just out of touch, sensationalized way. It's nuts. They're flinging themselves in our faces and they really want us to look. They really, really want us to look and they really want us to pay attention to them. And there's so much going on. I mean, there's the Diddy trial, there's the Blake Lively crapola that's going on. There's the Lauren Sanchez, Jeff Bezo's wedding going on in Italy, and we're going to talk about that. And there's Meghan, there's all this stuff, and I'm just putting these little notes of what I want to talk to about with you guys, and the list gets longer and longer and longer, and I'm like, okay, unless this is going to be a 3-hour video, I need to narrow this stuff down. So what I decided to do is I just rated each story on how annoyed I was with it. And then that's how I figured what I was going to talk to you guys about. So we're going to get into all of this, but I look at so many of these celebrities and these rich elitists and I think to myself, what happened to them when they were a child? What happened to them that they figured that they have to act out now? Like vomit on all of us. It's just crazy. But okay, first let's get to the debacle that is Meghan Markle. Now, I did a video on her last week. I will link it somewhere here or in the description where I'm talking about basically her podcast that she did with that Emma Grede lady called Aspire. And I talked about how her sinful behavior can kind of mirror sometimes what we do in our own lives. So how we can watch her and become a better version of ourselves through watching this woman fumble and bumble in the public eye. So I'll go ahead and link that down there. And I did say that I was going to watch the podcast in its entirety and give you my review on it. I still do plan to do that, but the damn thing was an hour and a half long. And if I have a video that I'm watching and commenting on, those videos tend to be really, really long. So I'm trying to still watch it and take notes and kind of break it up and give you what I believe to be the best parts and the highlights and things. But I started doing that the other day and I fell asleep. It was a long day. I finally laid down on my bed. It was around 8:30. I got my headphones on, got my iPad, my notepad, because I'm old school. I'm Gen X. I like to sometimes put pen or pencil to paper and write. So I'm doing that. And even trying to do that, trying to write on paper, I was still falling asleep. It was just insanely boring. It was so boring, you guys. So I'm going to do the best I can, like I said, to pick out some of the little nuggets. And I did talk about that in that last video, but anywho, I just wanted to give you an update on that. But I just wanted to also talk to you about what is going on with Meghan and her Instagram. Now, I've got my phone pulled up here and I'm looking at Meghan's Instagram and she's just releasing a lot of just boring stuff about this as ever garbage since June 20th. All she's really talking about, or it looks like she's trying to promote, is her as ever. And there was something very interesting on the podcast with Emma Grede that she talked about where Emma was saying, oh, you know, are you using your Instagram as also a promotion for your business?
Being able to authentically share in real time the things that I think someone might be able to laugh with or enjoy or be inspired by it in a way that feels like I can still have my hands on it and not be overproduced.
But are you thinking about it in the way that so many of us do as also a business tool?
Not for my personal account.
Really?
No. For my personal account?
Yeah.
No.
Well, that's the one we're all following.
Well, good.
That's
a
the
lot
one
of you
that
are
we're
following
like,
as ever
just
too.
dropped.
Are you cross promoting whatever? And she was like, oh, not my personal one. I'm not doing that for my personal one, for as ever I am. But then I'm seeing that that is not true. There's at least 2 posts here in the last week where she's cross promoting on both of her Instagram profiles, the As Ever official and the Meghan Markle one. And I have to say, this stuff is just really, really boring. The one that she posted on June 20th, where she looks like she's stocking a jar of honey. She's all creepy in the background, showing us her As Ever honey. And then she's got a bowl of what looks like really mashed up mushy apricots, and then a bowl of, what is that, tangerines? I don't know. And then some purple flowers blowing in the background. I'm thinking, this looks like it's a business post to me. It's just weird. And then the latest one, she's on a beach and she's wearing a shirt that literally looks 10 sizes too big for her. And she's got her legs kind of jutted out, almost like she's, I don't know, she seems very fond of showing us poses where she's in motion, that her legs are as if they're walking towards you. And I just envision like a deer's legs. I mean, I don't mean to be mean, but that's just what I think of when I see this. But I do notice that she has a penchant for wearing button-down t-shirts, or sorry, not t-shirts, but button-downs, like long sleeve button-downs. And she loves to roll them up and she likes to have them unbuttoned almost to her navel, but they're always 10 sizes too big. And I really do believe that's intentional. And I really do believe that she seems obsessed with her appearance weight-wise. That is my opinion. I really feel like after she was supposedly, allegedly pregnant, it took her quite a while to lose that baby weight if she was pregnant. But because there's a lot of rumors out there, but I'm not going to go into that right now. Point being, she's very, very thin now. To me, in my opinion, she looks almost painfully thin. And she's very fond of wearing overly roomy, oversized clothes to, I believe, emphasize the fact that she is so thin. But to me, I don't know if she's on the old Ozempic. I personally think she is. That is my opinion, which I am entitled to. But I just really feel like she just really doesn't have a strategy. She doesn't really know what she's doing. And I think that when Emma asked her questions specifically about her Instagram strategy in that podcast interview for that Aspire podcast, Meghan really wasn't prepared to answer the questions in a thoughtful way. It didn't seem like that to me. And it also didn't seem like that to me because she seemed very surprised that Emma would even ask her, what's the strategy? Are you promoting your business on your actual Meghan account? And she just seemed taken aback, like, no, I'm not. Well, you are now. I mean, you go to As Ever Official and she's cross-posting. And just when you look at what's going on with the As Ever grid here for Instagram, and I just want to preface this by saying, you guys, I really don't like Instagram anymore. I have an Instagram, and I was fairly active when I started really getting back into my YouTube channel, but I was really just seeing it as a way to cross promote and get eyeballs from that onto my YouTube channel. And I haven't posted in a really, really long time. I just don't like the landscape of Instagram. I've never had a TikTok. I just don't like this stuff. I think it's too curated and it's too just designed to kind of suck you in. And the algorithms and Meta, they all know what you like. They all know what you like to look at and what you do on Google, even when you're not on Instagram. And it's just scary. And I don't like any of it. I mean, we all have had that experience where, say, you're researching something that you want to buy and then 50 million ads for what you were just looking up shows up on Facebook or Instagram. To me, that's just a little bit too scary. That's just a little too Big Brother is watching. But yeah, I mean, and like, these posts are so boring. Like the latest one that she just did a few hours back, it's showing her picking, what is this, apricots, tangerines, I don't know, weekend plans, pick, snack, repeat. And then she had something on here where, how do you define your chapter of joy? Tag us and let us know. Why do people have to tag you and let you know about how they find their joy? Why don't you just let them comment on your Instagram post. I think it's about damn time that this woman opened up her comment section on her Instagram page. She wants feedback, she wants engagement, she wants to build a community. It's time, Meghan, it's time. But of course she doesn't want to, because she knows what's going to happen when she does. But I'm just looking at all this, and then she did something where she had a note, a really nice parchment type paper, where she wrote in her what she thinks is calligraphy, "You're beautiful, full stop." I mean, I don't understand what this is supposed to be. And then she was debuting on June 20th her rosé. She says, "Cheers, dears. Wishing you a wonderful weekend. You've certainly made ours wonderful. We sold out again, and sign up to be the first to order our new Napa Valley rosé." And I'm thinking to myself, all these pictures look like they come out of a Pottery Barn catalog circa early 2000. This aesthetic does not work anymore. Everything is just too perfect. It's too perfect. It's too airbrushed. And it's really funny because in that podcast, she tells Emma, "Oh yeah, like everyone wants authenticity and all this kind of stuff." And I'm thinking to myself, this is not authentic. So what she posts on her grid are just these super, super bright filtered pictures. And then what about that video that she posted a couple of days back when she supposedly sold out 4 hours into her second launch, where it shows her, she's always looking like she's like walking in the garden, and she just happens to pick up her phone and talk to you. But then she doesn't realize, like, see, this, like, she doesn't realize, she doesn't understand how to center herself in the frame. Her face is kind of half cut off. She doesn't make eye contact with the camera. To me, that all screams that you are disingenuous. You didn't really sell out, or maybe you did, but the quantities were still very, very low, so that's why you did. It's just make eye contact with us, Meghan. Talk to us. Tell us what's going on. So even in her attempts to look authentic, she's really, really sucking at it. She's not really doing a good job. And it's kind of weird and jarring and off-putting when you see her videos, because she's just so in and out, and she just kind of looks like the face is all half cut off. And she's way more savvy than that, you guys. She knows what good lighting is. She knows what good presentation is. She's a great talker. She's a really good talker. She can talk along with the best of them. She does do a lot of BSing, and she does throw out a lot of catchphrases and, you know, isms and her little things that she likes to throw out to make herself seem intelligent. We can kind of all see through that. I mean, at this point, yeah. But as far as the image goes, she does have a fairly okay voice where she's not too annoying. But I mean, well, she's kind of annoying. I guess I'm trying to be nice. She is annoying. But point being, she does have a presentation style which is a lot more professional than this crap she tries to do when she tries to pull out these really just off the cuff, or so she thinks, Instagram stories where you look at them and you're like, this is so weird. She's intentionally not looking at the camera. She's intentionally cutting herself off to make it maybe look like that she's so authentic that she's not thinking about trying to look at us and talk to us and center the camera and be normal. It's just so weird. It's what goes on in the mind of a narcissist. I don't know. Does she feel that if the angles are bad and the lighting is bad and she doesn't look that great, that we're somehow going to think that, okay, finally she's authentic or something? I don't know. But it's just weird. It's just crazy. It's just a mishmash. And now all the latest news, what everyone's talking about, is there was a wonderful YouTube channel called Think Beautiful that I want to give 100% props to. It was through her investigation work and her research where she came to find out from the metadata, from some of the photos on Meghan's actual website, but she's sourcing her tea from the umbrella company Republic of Tea. And now that's the latest scandal, where she's basically charging 3 times the amount. You can just go to your Whole Foods, local Whole Foods, Kroger, Vons, Ralph's, whatever, where you live, and buy Republic of Tea for 3 times less than what she's trying to market and shill to us, just because she slapped her As Ever brand on it and it's made from the Duchess of Sussex. And you're just kind of like, are you serious? Are you serious now? So now I'm sure the next focus is going to be, where is she sourcing her rosé? And I don't know about you, but I was looking at that picture from her As Ever official, where she officially talked about, okay, this is the debut and it's coming on July 1st, which, by the way, is Princess Diana's birthday. Yeah, we see you, Meghan. We see you. But I'm looking at that rosé and I'm thinking, it looks kind of weird. It's got like a weird kind of peachy tone to it. Isn't rosé supposed to be more pinky? I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm just being too nitpicky on all of this, but that's my point. This woman does not realize that because she doesn't have public faith, because we believe her to be a liar and an opportunist, because we know that she tries to position herself and frame her narratives a certain way so that people will think one way of her, but yet she forgets that it's a whole pay no attention to that man behind the curtain Wizard of Oz deal going. We see you. We've seen the receipts. We've seen what you've done in the past, both on British shores and over here in America, how you treat staff, what the rumors are about you. We know all of it. We know how you told lies and half-truths and misrepresented you and Harry's experience with the royal family on Oprah. We know all of this. So because of this, does she not realize that we are going to really scrutinize what she's doing and we're really going to look into it? She's trying to sell this as ever company and tell us that she's in her kitchen with a spoon stirring. And remember that Instagram story? I did a video, I don't know, about 2 months ago where, Harry and Meghan are in a jam and she posted herself stirring 2 pots at one time in her kitchen to make it seem like this is like the coolest thing that she ever invented, which is jam. And it's coming straight from Meghan's kitchen onto your, slice of bread, y'all, and get excited about it. And so that's the image that she's trying to convey, that this is something that is homegrown from her kitchen. She conceptualized the recipe. It's all her. She gave these gift baskets of this jam and these treats and these delights to her friends, and they were so enamored and so touched by her whimsy that they were the ones that gave her, you should really do this. You should really bring this to the world. And then Bella Bashara, or whatever the heck her name is from Netflix, like I don't know, what is she, product development? I don't know. She was the one who was telling Meghan, there's a show here. But she's always positioning as if it's a wonderful, authentically organic, beautiful thing that she's dreamt up, and all the intimates in her life just loved it so much that they really wanted her to just share it with the world. Well, if that's what you're trying to tell us, that that's what the case is, it's so authentically you, this brand, and it's so heartfelt and really comes from your heart and soul, Meghan, then why are we finding out crap like it's just sourced by Republic of Tea? Like that's where she's getting all of her stuff. Just tell us in the beginning, just say something like, oh, I source stuff from really trusted names and whatever. I mean, just prepare us. It's like she's constantly trying to posture one way, and then we find out what the H is going on, really, and then we point fingers, and then she either says that she's being hated or abused because of her gender and her race, or she just completely forgets it, drops it, and moves on to the next thing, or she'll contradict herself, or she'll try to clap back. It gets exhausting. So I'm looking at this Instagram strategy of hers, and I'm really, really sticking to what I've said in past videos, that I really think this woman just wakes up on any given day, in my opinion, and based on whatever cocktail of booze or pills she's done that day, that determines her Instagram strategy. She's constantly contradicting herself. And again, in that Emigrate interview, she's all about authenticity. She's all about this. Well, then why is half of your grid so overly curated that no one can relate to it, and then the other half, when you're always posting these stories where you look disheveled, like you're running from someone who's trying to capture you, everything's crazy, this camera's all askew, you can't even show us half your face, you won't do eye contact. To me, I watch those, and especially that last one, she looks high. She just looks weird and a little crazy. And then she's like showing us on her phone these emojis about flower sprinkles. It's the confetti emoji that you can add to give emphasis for when you're texting people. My kids had to show me that stuff because I've seen it in the past, but I didn't really know how to do it. I don't really give a crap. But that's what she's doing. She's going on Instagram and she's showing us how she can make confetti emojis on her iPhone look like flower sprinkles, or she's likening it to her flower sprinkles, and she's shilling flower sprinkles like we're supposed to be excited about it. I remember back, I don't know how many months ago, where people were posting on the internet, this looks a lot like rabbit food that you can buy on Amazon, and you could buy 5-pound, 3-pound bags or whatever it is for way less than what she's trying to sell us in this little keepsake baby tin, where you're like, make this make sense, make this make sense. I need a friend, I need a friend, I need a hug. It's like, oh, yeah. So, yeah, this whole thing is just scary. It's scary and it's creepy. It just seems to me that her Instagram strategy is disjointed. It doesn't have any rhyme or reason. On one hand, it's either really overly bright, sunny, curated, looks like Instagram used to look 15 years ago. And then the other side of that strategy for both of those profiles is to show herself looking like creepily disheveled and out of breath and manic and weird and high. Can you just meet us in the middle and be normal? But there's nothing normal about this woman, you guys, and that's the thing. When you are ruled and blinded, and I talked about this in my last video, by your selfishness, your pride, your ego, and you also thrive on being divisive and stirring up crap and just having people talk about you for the sake of having people talk about you, then this is the type of stuff that you're going to do. And that's just what we have to look forward to. So I guess she is the gift that keeps on giving. And we are going to continue to talk about her. But I'm going to look at what she's doing and I'm going to talk about it, and especially and frame it to you guys when we all get together and talk, as what not to do. What not to do with your life. If you are going to scream and bang on about privacy and how I saw an article that she's still terrified, beyond terrified, to go back to the UK, even though Harry is supposedly seeking reconciliation. And have you noticed that so many stories about Harry lately in the news? So there's different rumblings going on out there. So a lot more people are focusing on what exactly is going on. How healthy is he right now? Is he stuck? Is he just, self-medicating? What is happening? I personally feel that he is isolated. We all know he is. I personally feel, in my opinion, that he is self-medicating, that he is indulging in things that allow him to escape from reality. And when you have that type of situation going on with him, trying to deal with her, that's a recipe for disaster, you guys. So that article was talking about how he's desperately trying to seek reconciliation because he is not healthy. There's a lot of stuff going on. People are worried for him and his safety, for his state of mind, what's going to happen to him. But she's still terrified to go back to the UK. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, you can't have it both ways. She's constantly violating her own privacy. She's constantly shoving her kids, even though she doesn't share with us their faces full on, which makes it even more creepy. But she's constantly violating her own privacy, yet squealing that she's terrified for her life and that she doesn't have privacy. So this is just crazy. This is all, I don't know. I guess this is what happens to you when you have an absentee mother who really couldn't give two whats about you, which in my opinion is what happened with her mother. And then you've got a father that is completely overindulging and trying to overcompensate for the fact that you have an absentee mother. So this is what happens. You're never told no. So maybe that's why she views all men as a stepping stone, as something to use to get what she wants. Because I personally feel that everywhere this woman has gotten in her life, she has used and stepped on the back of a man to do it. Whether we're talking about her father, whether we're talking about her ex-husband, Trevor Engelson, whether we're talking about Prince Harry, she's always using men and their positions and their money and their places in life to get where she wants to go, but yet she never gives them credit where credit is due. She loves to slam them. It's just very, very sad. And we're watching all of this unfold and unravel in real time. We're watching the unraveling of a narcissist in real time. I really don't think that this woman does anything beyond scroll and doom scroll on her phone looking for what people are saying about her. And that is a really sad existence to feel trapped by. It really, really is. I wish and pray that she gets out of this mindset and gets out of this existence that she has carved out for herself. I don't see that happening anytime soon. Until then, I think we're going to continue to be bombarded. But this has ever business that she is trying to promote, given everything that we've been learning about this business that's been trickling out about how she's using what I feel is this scarcity mentality, this tactic to fool us into thinking that the brand is more successful than it is. And now to find out that she's using a distributor called Republic of Tea that anyone in America can pretty much get down the street at their local grocery store, but trying to pawn that off as being a bespoke, curated collection of her favorites. What world does this woman live in? What world? I ask you. I'll tell you what. I've said it before and I'll say it again. You cannot tell me that when she was wishing for world domination, that she was thinking that she was going to build a jam empire. I mean, jam and shortbread and crepes and honey, that is what she wants to use to get to be what she hopes to be billionaire status. The royal family's already been there, done that.com. I mean, and they do it better. And it's actually sourced from royal farms and lands, and it goes to charity. I mean, at least that is something that you could look at and say, hey, I'll buy some things from King Charles Highgrove collection. I know it's going to be sourced from projects and farms that he's directly involved in. And I know that the proceeds are going to go to charitable organizations. So why wouldn't you want to pay a premium for something like that, but to know that you're getting the quality and to know that you're also benefiting other people? To invest in her is just to invest in her own brand of crazy narcissism. No thanks, I'm good. I'd rather buy Celestial Seasonings or good old freaking Lipton tea. You know what I mean? I mean, come on. Yeah. That is a no-brainer. Anywho, that woman gives me a chronic headache. But moving on. Okay, now it's time to talk about the Jeff Bezos, Lauren Sanchez wedding. And I have to tell you that I never really gave too much thought about Lauren Sanchez. I remember seeing pictures of her over the past few years or so as Jeff Bezos' fiance, and seeing pictures of her. To me, she just looks like the garden variety, super rich celebrity that's got the over plumped pillow face, just overabundance and misuse of fillers, the crazy in your face, fake breast augmentation look where the boobies are up under her chin, wearing clothes, and she's 4 years older than me, 5 years older than me, something like that. Wearing clothes that really should be worn by someone that is 30 years younger than she is, my personal opinion. Just kind of like, okay, well, I guess this is what Jeff wants for himself. And we've all seen pictures about what Jeff Bezos used to look like back in the day when he founded Amazon. And I mean, come on, let's be honest. The guy does look a little bit nerdy and like he spent all his time in the computer lab in high school and really, really wanted a girlfriend, but probably couldn't get one. That's why he has now joined forces with what I believe looks like a blow up plastic person, not a real person. But anyway, I digress. So they've been together and engaged for at least 3 to 4 years, if I'm not mistaken. And they have decided to unleash onto the world their wedding celebration in Venice, Italy. And apparently, the residents of Venice, there are quite a few of them, and they're not happy with this. They are not happy with the fact that Jeff Bezos is there with his wife, flaunting their wealth, flaunting their privilege. They are talking about all kinds of things, holding up signs that say no space for Bezos. And a lot of the complaints, they do make a whole heck of a lot of sense when you think about them. A lot of the people are saying, look, these people, these rich elitists that are coming in, they're basically taking over the tourism of Venice while they are there. They are taking up space, resources, they're booking out swaths of hotels. They are basically affecting other tourists and the way that the other tourists can enjoy and experience Venice, because this huge Bezos wedding is so big and it's got so many people and so much security and so many areas depending on where they're going and where they're having their little festivities. Just like those areas now aren't accessible to just normal ordinary Venetians and tourists that spend a lot of money and probably resources to themselves want to come and experience it. So yeah, I didn't really know too much about this woman, and I did some research on her, and then I remember that when I was still living in Southern California, I do remember seeing her being a news anchor for one of the local news outlets, and she was apparently on Good Day LA as well. She worked as an entertainment reporter for Extra, so she started as a reporter. Apparently married the co-founder of the Endeavor Talent Agency in 2005. I have my notes here. His name is Patrick Whitesell, and she was married to him for almost 15 years. And apparently she had an interest in flying helicopters and started this helicopter filming production company. And how she met Jeff Bezos was that he hired that company that she formed, that aviation filming company, he hired her and that company in July 2018. And by January 2019, their affair, because they were cheating on their respective spouses with each other, in January 2019, their affair came to light because of leaked text messages from the National Enquirer. So I read this and I'm kind of thinking this whole thing started a little seedy, if you know what I mean, and not in a good, pure place at all. And what is that famous saying? That the way you get them is the way that you're going to lose them. So yeah. Anywho, so they basically got together by cheating on their spouses to be with each other. So they've been together for a while and they're now finally tying the knot in Venice. But the thing that's really funny to me is they already got married about a month ago in the States already. So this thing that's going on in Venice right now, this is all just public celebration. And when I say it's a public celebration, that's exactly what it is. Because being as rich as these two are, they could have gone off and celebrated in quiet and we would have never have known about it. And they could have been in quiet luxury on an isolated island somewhere doing something like that. Like, for example, what Kate and William do when they go have private vacations with themselves or their families. They're usually at super private resorts and you don't really hear anything about it other than after you find out where they went. So point being, these two could have done that, but they don't want to do that. They don't want to do that. They want to take over the entire city of Venice, and she wants to parade around half naked in the streets. Just in case you didn't know that her boobies go up to here and her hair and makeup are perfect, they want to go ahead and take over the entire city of Venice and spend over $20 million. Allegedly, that is what the media is reporting, that this whole wedding 3-day bash extravaganza is costing them, setting them back about $20 million. And they just want to take over Venice, and she wants to parade around the streets of Venice half naked and wave to the paparazzi and do things like have foam parties on yachts where she jumps around and pretends that she's 21, like that bachelorette party that she held in May, just this past May, with people like Katy Perry and Kim Kardashian and Kris Jenner on the boat, and they're all just like dancing around and they're acting like they're 21 years old. This is how young girls who have never been married act. She is a divorcee, 55 years old, throwing foam parties on yachts, having bachelorette parties. Like, you don't need a bachelorette party. For what reason? Ugh, whatever. I'm over it. So yeah, you got Lauren Sanchez running around Venice with her boobies up under her chin, every single picture, and she's waving and she's, and then you got, Oprah, Orlando Bloom, Kim and Khloe Kardashian, Kris Jenner. Oh, did I say Oprah? Oprah and Gail. They all are there and they all want us to know about it. And there's no other reason for this public spectacle. There's no other reason for it. There's no reason for Jeff and Lauren to do this other than they can. That's the whole thing. They can. $20 million is nothing to this man. Absolutely nothing. I don't know how many billions he's worth. I think I read that she was worth 20 million, I think, when they got together. So that's not exactly a gold digger, but considering how rich this guy is, I think anybody that would be with him would probably be called a gold digger. So she met him in July 2018. She starts this business association with him when he hires her aviation production filming company in July 2018. And by January 2019, it's leaked that they've got these text messages alluding to an affair. So I don't think this lady wasted any time. I don't think she wasted any time. But yeah, so it's all too much. And the last thing I'm going to rant about with this wedding is the thing that really, really ticked me off that I was reading about. So they had over a period of 3 days, starting on Thursday, June 26th. Over that Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, every day they had festivities and celebrations going on. And the first day, on that Thursday, they had a welcome party in the cloister of a Catholic church in Venice. And it's the Madonna del Orto Church. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly. And it was a catered event, and it was a reception going on in the cloister section of that church. I read that and I was like, come again? Churches are supposed to be places that are sacred for prayer and worship. And then I got a little gander at what Miss Lauren Sanchez wore to that party. And can I just tell you, she wore this outfit in a church. In a church. Okay. You are not going to a party in Vegas. Okay. You are in a church, in God's house, dressed like the harlot of Jezebel. I mean, give me a freaking break. That is so just inappropriate. And I was thinking, who is the bishop out there? Who is okaying this? It was a catered event, so I'm going to assume that there was drinks and food inside the church, but who is okaying this? I mean, what debauchery? What are we looking at? But you know what? Never fear, because I also got a glimpse at a little headline that really, really made me feel so much better about the fact that all these crazy people were partying like it's 1999 in a church, half naked, okay? It says Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez's A-list wedding guests flee after heavy thunderstorm ruins their welcome party. So apparently this party had to end almost an hour earlier than it was supposed to because of heavy thunderstorms. So all of these guests, all these half-naked guests like Kim Kardashian and Lauren and all these people had to rush out to their water taxis under umbrellas being held by all their security. And you know, they're just so scared. Their hair, their makeup, their couture is going to get rained on. And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, man, that's what happens. That's what happens when the devil himself decides to throw a party, a debaucherous, half-naked party inside God's house. God ain't gonna have it. He's gonna turn on the waterworks and he's gonna rain on your little evil parade. So that really did bring a little smile to my face, gotta say. So those were the two stories that got my blood going this week. Just watching all of that craziness go down in Venice with the Bezos wedding, and of course Meghan, the gift that keeps on giving. I don't know what to do with that woman, but I am still taking notes on that podcast. I hope to get that out to you guys sooner rather than later, although please have some grace with me. As you know, my family is moving overseas. Our house is in chaos right now. I took a little bit of time 2 days ago and got a haircut and got some highlights just to pamper mama, because I've just been all over the place. But I do appreciate you showing up and spending this little bit of time with me. I just love ranting and having you guys here with me. Let me know down in the comments, what do you think of what Meghan's doing on her crazy scatterbrained Instagram? What do you think of what was going on in Venice with the whole Jeff Bezos Lauren Sanchez wedding? Are you getting as tired as I am looking at these over puffed up crazy pillow faces and all these weird altered bodies and these celebrities so clearly on Ozempic but saying that they're not? I mean, whatever happened to just individuality and unique beauty? The kind of beauty that I grew up with in the 80s and the 90s. And, you know, even before that, like the type of beauty my mom grew up with, looking at stars like Audrey Hepburn, Grace Kelly, Marilyn Monroe. Everyone now is so cookie cutter. Their noses are razor sharp. Their cheeks are all puffed up and like super sharp. And everyone looks puffed up and looks the same. No one looks authentically unique anymore. And I think that is such a shame. And you know what's really funny? My mom tells me that when I was 2.5 years old, when the Sonny and Cher show was still on television, apparently my mom tells me that whenever Cher would come on and sing, and she was always in those beautiful Bob Mackie costumes, and apparently whenever she came on the screen, I was just transfixed, just staring at Cher. And Cher, oh my gosh, back in the day, she was so unbelievably beautiful before she even herself started getting all sliced and diced and weird plastic surgery face. But I look at someone like the way Cher used to look in the 70s and I think that is beauty. That is beautiful. She was so gorgeous. She was so unique looking. Everything about her, her eyes, her nose, her face. It was just, I just miss celebrities and movie stars looking like that and not acting like fools, always flaunting their wealth and stuff. Like that's all that stuff's so gross to me. But anyway, that's where I was at this week. Thank you for spending this time with me. Let me know what you think about all this debauchery down in the comments below, and I will talk to you guys very, very soon. Bye.